Preston.
Hola y bienvenido ao Gran Premio do Brasil na Interlagos, São Paulo. Hello and welcome to the STB Racing League Season 15 Brazilian Grand Prix live from the Autódromo José Carlos Pache in Interlagos, São Paulo. Now, the gap is 7 points coming into this Brazilian Grand Prix, the penultimate round of the season. Eke leads the championship over to Dominic, 7 points. Urban Unicorn and Fusion are behind them in third and fourth, and then we have a very, very interesting battle between Mercury and Buckley, that P5 in the championship, and they're occupied, or accompanied rather, by the likes of Jamham, F1 Gravity, and I believe both the Hamjam brothers. So it's very close in that midfield. But what we are looking at right now is we are looking at the battle between Eke and Dominic. I am joined once again by Rigsy X, who's very, very excited ahead of this Brazilian Grand Prix. Rigsy, how are you feeling this evening for Brazil?
Oh, thanks for the introduction, Maldy. It's great to be back here once again in the STB Racing League. Quite thrilled, purely because one, it's Brazil, it's a very iconic track, drivers' favourite, fans' favourite. It's been on Formula One's calendar for God knows how long, and secondly, there's a championship decider. Well, I mean, the 7 point gap, I mean, I wouldn't say decider as such, but with the gap being 7 points, it definitely means there's lots to play for here in Sao Paulo, and as you were saying, there is a lot to be concluded in these last two races. There's like battles up and down the grid, trying to fight for the best possible result that they can bring for themselves and their team. So basically, I feel at this point, it's gloves are off. Very crucial point in the season. Final two races, you need to give it, go big or go home, Mallory. That is my statement. That's what I'll say.
Definitely. Dominic, he's going in on his first lap, 108.1. He's on the pace here in Brazil. Now, Sao Paulo, Rigsy, always offers incredible races. And of course, we had that incredible iconic race in 2008 where Hamilton won the championship out of the final corner. Won the championship by 1 point over home driver Felipe Massa. Now, we do have a Brazilian driver here this evening, as a lot of people are lagging out of the session. Rigsy, so we're gonna just see if we can get these drivers back in, but it's very it's not good, is it, Rigsy, when these drivers disconnect? We always want the drivers to stay in for the session, so I'm just quickly looking through of the drivers and see who needs to be in. But Rigsy, what's your personal feelings about Brazil? Because for me, it's one of my favourite tracks on the calendar, and it always offers incredible battles every season. So what's your opinions?
I mean, Brazil is a personal favourite of mine. I mean, I love the circuit. It is definitely, I'd rank it very highly. Like, it is probably one of my top three races on this Formula One season, the Formula One game. Surprisingly, I thought, like, I just recently done a league race around here on Saturday, and the physical demand, like, I mean, for me on the pad, like, I'm a pad player, and I felt there was like a very strenuous demand on, like, using the pad, and I never really felt that anywhere else, but Brazil kind of presents that challenge as well. As you were saying, table deciders, I mean, like, for Brazil's been quite iconic for that, whether it be Hamilton and Massa, Raikkonen, Hamilton, Alonso in 2007, Vettel and Alonso in 2012, and Alonso and Raikkonen in 2005, Schumacher and Alonso in 2006. I mean, the list can go on, but in the nicest way, we don't want that to happen here. We want the championship to go to the final race. Like, we want Abu Dhabi to present us with the world champion. Like, we don't want it decided here. But I mean, Brazil really is one of the short tracks, a very challenging track, and there's always the threat of weather. Like, Brazil is no stranger to a bit of rain and a bit of drizzle, so I wouldn't be too surprised if we've seen some rain at some point. So there is a lot of factors to take in here for the teams and drivers. There's a lot of strain, a lot of pain, but you put a good bit of work in, you get a good bit out of this. Who succeeds at getting the best out their car and who doesn't? We'll kind of tell relatively late on in this qualifying session how the race unfolds. But I mean, as I can only say, it's just ought to play for at this stage. Like, everybody will be out there giving it their maximum.
Rixie, hello. I'm just trying to invite people into the game. I don't know if has anyone joined since Fusion joined last, or
I've not seen any names coming up, Maldy. The names. I've not seen anybody joining the session. I've seen a couple of people leaving, and I'm assuming they're trying to get them back in. We want to have as many drivers as we can competing here at Brazil tonight. But no, I've not seen anybody coming in or out either that I've missed it. But we are just 11 minutes left in the session, and Dominic remains top of the leaderboard in this qualifying session with a 108.1 on his first run. He is 3/10 ahead of Maris in second place in the Alfa Romeo, and Shortcut is rounding out the top three at the moment. Championship leader Eke in the Red Bull only sits 5th at the minute. However, there is another 7 drivers yet to put in their first banker time, with just over 10 minutes remaining here in Sao Paulo. It is really dark, so I mean, maybe the threat of rain isn't really much of a mystery, but we'll need to see what happens.
What to really expect here. I don't really know what could potentially be happening, but very interesting. All drivers except for Ira Matti are all on soft tyres. Now, I'm thinking, usually, because we've seen, I believe it was Fusion, who was practicing on the set of mediums. He said he was going to go for that medium stint, but interesting, he's gone for the soft. So could that mean, Rixie, that we could have a bit of rain coming here in Brazil? It could be pretty interesting if we do, but yes, I think, Rixie, we're going to be in for potential rain looking at this.
I mean, definitely. Like, you don't normally. I feel like drivers do their best to kind of try and like spice up the strategy, try and be that wee bit different to try and gain an edge. Whether that be put the mediums on and then go soft at the end of the run in the race, or go hard and then go soft, or whatever other strategy. But I mean, all of them being on the soft is a bit unusual, but I mean, it can be a common strategy. It might maybe just be that the soft to medium or soft to hard is the quickest, or everybody's just trying to get the lap in on soft tyres because they know that the race is going to be wet. I mean, it really leaves a lot of theorising to be kind of like circling around this strategy idea. But I'm getting an echo, Maldy, just to let you in as well. But the threat of rain is never a stranger to Brazil. Like, I mean, like, it's prone to a wee bit of rain every once in a while, as we were just previously discussing there. But I mean, people are starting to just minute sevens so far this session. Urban Unicorn is alongside on the front row as it stands. KMH is in the racing point and he's 4th. Mari's done to 5th after his first run. The 2 Ferraris are Stray Cylinder and KF Libiero in 6th and 7th. Kyle in 8th in the Haas. DJ Danny and Hamjammer rounding out your top 10, and championship leader Eke has went from P5 to P11 after the majority of the drivers have went through their first set of runs. Drivers yet to set the time is Jasper Boss, who says he's still in the pits, so maybe he's leaving late on. I think he was one of the drivers. He was one of the drivers that disconnected, so we're trying to get him back in. You've got Buckley, who's went out on 2 laps on a set of softs and he's not put a time in it. 2 run-up drivers, Toxic Fusion to save, he's on his outlap the new, and Jamham rounding out the bottom. He's just started his flying lap the new as he's coming through turn 1 through the S section. See how he takes that. It looks relatively clean, relatively quick, keeping the inside on the inside of 3, gets the slipstream off the Toro Rosso to Churka on into turn 4. He's the first sector time there 16.9 as DJ Danny retires. He'll not be improving for P9. Yellow flags out in the first sector. Okay, I'm going to stay on board with Jamham the nose. He comes up through the turn 6, slows the car down into second gear, well down into first, up into second quickly for that extra bit of traction. Keeps it in second round turn 8, and then he's coming up to turn 9 and 10, the bit where Hamilton and Albon had their crash this year in real life with last year now. Coming round turn 11, and I know the last corner was called Yunsal, and that's all I know about corner names here at Brazil, but he's relatively clean neck. It took up a bit too much of the inside curve there, but it didn't really seem to lose him too much time, but he's going to be straight lining to the finishing line, and he's got DRS when open, keeps it to the left, and he's coming across the timing beam to only go 14th.
That's a pull out there from Jamham.
14th. I don't know really what happened there. Don't know if maybe MD kind of. I mean, he got some slipstream off a Churka on the straight down to turn 4, but it was very marginal. Like there wasn't really too much an improvement there. But I mean, it's not been the greatest lap there for Jamham on his first proper run. So he'll be coming back to the pits, and he'll be definitely looking to improve on that 14th. Matty is the only driver to set a time on the mediums with a 1 minute 10.8, and that puts him kind of alongside Jasper the Williams on the back row. Dominic goes even faster, only by a 10th on his previous best, so he's at 7.8 at the minute.
Okay, he's also on and out that brought Mercury here, Riggs, sorry, Mercury's on a lap, he's on P12 now.
Mercury is on a lap, and he's got the Ferrari of Stray cylinder in front of him.
He's on a
so
lap,
I don't know if we'll get.
Sorry. He's on lap now, so it's good.
Right, we'll ride on board with Eke as he comes through the S section here. DRS is open into the first sector delta point, 17.0. He's 2 thousandths of a second slower than what he put in before. Through turn 4 and 5. Looks relatively quick. He's got the Toro Rosso. I can't really tell who that is. I think that's Mercury up round the incline in turn 6 into the second sector. It's a very windy, very tight sector. I don't feel like too much action will be gone in here, but he's got the Toro Rosso here. Don't know if he's getting in the way, but he'll quickly be moving. He's still there. Oh, and I seen that was quite close there. I mean, Mercury kind of left it late to get out of the room, but I don't know if that's lost Eke any time. We'll see as he comes round this turn 11. He's done before hundredths of a second. He's no improving on his lap Maldi. He's going to be putting the fit to the flare up the hill, round the left curves. DRS flat will be open there, and he's back into the pits. He's definitely going to try and save himself for a final run. But Eke is I don't know if it's maybe just, I don't know. He's not looking too quick on his first run, so he's going to have to give it 110% on his final run.
Jasper Bosco's P6 there, 108.4 on his first race in STB.
A solid position for the Williams there as it stands up in P6. We got him back into the session. It didn't come up on my screen either, that I just didn't see it and I'm just blind. But Jasper Boss puts the Williams on the third row as it stands with just over 3 minutes left in this session. He will have time to come. Will he have time to come round? I think he'll probably have time to come round and get a final run in. But the only person that will not have the chance to improve on their time is DJ Danny, who retired from this qualifying session in Brazil. So he'll not be doing any better than P12 where he sits presently. I'm kind of looking at the grid in the Maldi, and with just ahead of the final runs, and the grid seems very, and it's nicest, in the nicest way of saying it, it looks very out of shape.
Definitely.
Like
Eke,
you're having
sorry, can I just
Eke,
yeah, 14th at the moment. 14th. But saying that, Button started 14th in the championship winning their race. So
I mean, it's races can be won in the first corner, but they can definitely be lost. So it'll just be a matter of keeping it clean for Maldi if he finds himself in the rear end of the field. I mean, Jamham, Buckley, Gravity, we normally kind of see them at the tail end of the top 10, if no a wee bit higher than that, and they're down at the bottom end of the grid. Matty's in P20. and he's opting for the soft tyres as drivers are starting to commit for their final runs here. We just shot at 2 minutes remaining on the qualifying clock here in Sao Paulo, and the clouds are still looming over, but there's no signs of rain. But will we get some for the race? I mean, we've not really spoke to anybody, so we've not got that information on hand, so that's a mystery to us as to the viewers. Kind of like that in a sense. I mean, I'd like to be surprised by a wee bit of rain, but we'll just need to see in the next 90 seconds. We'll need to see in the next 90 seconds where the qualifying grid's going to shape up and who's going to start where. So I'm going to have a look about and see who's where on the track.
Riggsy, Fusion's out on circuit at the moment. He was a 10th up in the
Fusion's,
first sector.
He's 10th up in the first sector. As we see Kyle retire, I don't know what's happened to him there, but there's a full course yellow, it says on my screen. Yep, sectors 1, 2 and 3 are yellow flagged. But I think that, I don't know what's happened there. Now it's just 1 and 2, the third seems to be fine, now it's just the first. But Toxic Fusion's up by a 10th, up through turn 12, and it's just up this hill, round these left-handers, the small kinks on the track, and he's gonna come up to the line as John H retires. He comes over the timing beam and he goes 6th fastest there, an improvement of 2 tenths, gets him from P12 up to P6 into the top 10. Will we have time to go again?
Right, Riggsy, sorry, Echo's up on his time in the first sector.
He's up by only 700s, but I mean the grid is quite close. I mean, between second and 18th is a second, so literally is about to be. It could be anybody's guess for where folks start in this race, but I mean we're just about to see the checkered flag drop for this session. Neki's coming through.
Compromised by straight cylinder.
He's up through.
Reese is up in the P2. Could the home driver from Brazil be starting on the front row here in Interlagos? Eke then, here we go. Is this going to be pole position?
Only 15! No, not 12. It's only 12. And Dominic at best as it stands. Who's out in a run? Mercury's up by a 10th. Up by 2 tenths as he's coming across the line. The new Maldi. He'll go from P16 to P10. Pushing Maldi.
Eke down in
pushing Maldi further
P14,
down.
Riggsy for the World Championship.
And Jamham's still got to complete his lap day. He's about to get second. He's up by 2 tenths as well. He's going to 2 as it stands.
Quick message right now, I'm very sorry about that. Oh, kicking off here in Brazil. Jamham down in 18th, Riggsy. That is
definitely not what he wanted to be.
That is insane. Okay, let's go. Let's go through the grid, Riggsy. This is a messed up grid to say the least. First, Dominic. He needs to have an incredible race here if he's to win that championship in Abu Dhabi. Second is Churka. Third, Maurice. Fourth, Urban Unicorn. Fifth, John MH. Sixth is Fusion. Seventh is Cody. Eighth is Jasper Boss. Ninth is Cylinder. 10th is Mercury. 11th, Hamjam. He's out of position. 12th, Stalo. 13th, for Libero. 14th, your title leader, your championship leader, Eke. 15th is Kyle. 16th, Danny. 17th, Buckley. 18th is Jamham. Oh, can't breathe. 19th is Matty. And 10th is F1 Gravity. Riggsy. Eke 14th. Dominic P1. Let's see what the Brazilian Grand Prix has to offer. Riggsy. It's raining.
Oh, it's wet.
It is raining for the Brazilian Grand Prix. It is about to get spicy here in Sao Paulo. Riggsy. 7 points. I can't deal.
Basically, what has just happened here is the bar has well and truly been raised for all the drivers, and skill will definitely be required more than ever just to get through this weather.
I can't, Riggsy. Can't deal.
It's definitely going to be exciting. Purely because one, Dominic's going to be at the front. He's got Churka, who is his compatriot, alongside on the front row, and Eke is in the midst of this pack. He's going to get caught up in the spray. He's going to get caught up in any, I'm hoping everybody gets through the first sequence of corners safely and with every bit of their car intact, Maldi. But Eke is going to have to spray for everybody in his face.
Right, there's some major connection issues. Rigsy, can you hear me? Sorry, it's major connection. Rigsy.
No, it's fine. Hello.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you fine.
Right. It's all kicking off in the com box as well, everyone. We couldn't hear each other then.
But hopefully we'll buff out these issues for the viewers, because they'll want to see this. I don't know.
My internet is fine. Honestly, my internet is fine. Like, I don't understand why there's so many issues with the lobby at the moment. Might be because it's a full-man lobby.
No, could be. But now you've got a stress on the internet.
Am I lagging right now?
No, I can hear you. Loud and clear.
Can you hear me clear? Don't know. Hopefully it gets sorted. We have the same. So. Okay, Rigsy. Pole position is Dominic. 14th is Eke. The gap between them two is 7 points. Ideally, Eke has to finish second and Dominic first for the points to be even going into the Abu Dhabi. Rigsy, who's going to win the Brazil Grand Prix? Right, Rigsy, take us through the start of the race.
The Renault A Toxic Fusion, so when we look up the inside, A Urban Unicorn there.
Riggsy, you're going to have to invite me back to the lobby. I don't know what's going on. There's major connection. I need to get back in. I need an invite.
I've sent an invite to you, Maldi. I've absolutely no idea how that unfolded, but we're about to complete the first lap. On to lap 2 of 36. Dominic remains the race leader, but the crucial piece of news is the championship leader, Eke. The two Red Bull drivers are out of this Grand Prix on lap 1 of 36. It is detrimental to the championship lead, and Eke, who had it all today, and the midfield finds himself back in his garage. It's not the race he wanted, definitely no. But I mean,
kicking off in Brazil. Now, there was major connection issues on that first lap. I don't know if it was the lobby, Rigsy, if it was me, but am I better now?
You're a lot better to me now, Maldi. As soon as it all kicked off, you kind of kicked off too. I couldn't hear you at all. I kind of felt like you were talking over me, and then when I tried to talk about you, you never heard. That must have just been a connection issue. But it's all just blown a gasket this first lap. Jesus. Just no other way to put it.
We did catch it, Rigsy, on stream. Hello.
But on lap 3, race leader is Dominic, started for pole. And Churka is back up into P2 after the start. Mary's P3, Urban Unicorns in P4. John in the McLaren, the Racing Point is up into P5. Toxic Fusion 6. Jasper Boss is 7th in the Williams. Handjam and Cody are tussling over P8, and Mercury and Buckley and Libieros are trying to get in about that piece of pie. DJ Danny's kind of in no man's land now in P13. Matty Jap and Maldi's left the session again.
You must be trying into Xbox Live, it said. We're having major issues right now. Rigsy, can you give me an invite, please? It said I need to be connected to Xbox Live.
It's all kicking off in every possible way. Definitely I've absolutely no words. I mean, the rain has definitely kicked this race well and truly into your life, and it's definitely played a fundamental twist to the championship. But I should get Maldi back in, because we'll be, as viewers, they are missing the content, and we want to try and get that like re-established for them, and we're trying to get in.
Yeah, Ricky, it just keeps lagging. As soon as I get back in the lobby, it just keeps lagging and you keep lagging, and yeah, I just don't know what's going on.
Wait there.
My internet has been fine today, so I do apologise to all the viewers at the moment. I do apologise.
I would say that's fine, but I mean, like, the connection issues are quite.
The same was happening at America last week. It might just be the lobby being too big. I'm not sure. I don't know.
That's definitely chose the worst time to play up.
Maurice said he's on the back of Churka, Rigsy.
He's in the slipstream, he's in the spray as well, so he'll have to try and pick his breaking point wisely if he's to try and make a move on the Toro Rosso P2 at the moment. Your retirees on lap 5, A36 is Mick Stalios, Kyle in the Haas, and the two Red Bulls, Eke and F1 Gravity. So they are out of this race, they'll not be collecting any points for this race. And this kind of plays perfectly into Dominic's hand, because all he needs to do is score some decent points. But better safe than
last
better.
week, it's lagging again. Can you hear me, Riggsy?
I can hear you fine, aye.
Okay. Just the game keeps lagging. God, sorry about this, viewers. Yeah, last week we were talking about how Eke needed to, how Dominic needed to beat Eke. Now we're talking about how Eke needs to be as low down. Now we're talking about Dominic having to be low down and being overtaken. So it's not good, but it's definitely kicked off. The connections kicked off. The Red Bulls have kicked off. Like Christian Horner's gone. Christian Horner is Abu Dhabi of this Brazil. So
He didn't. Urban Unicorn. John is in P5. Toxic P6. So I mean, in fairness, I mean, if you're not really here to compete, and your car's for either of those drivers, I mean, and this is kind of a race where I feel like I did see Maldi connecting back to the game, so whether you've got footage of the actual race content, that remains, I mean, up to you. I mean, I don't know if you've got it or no. Maldi will need to update me and inform me on that, but we are on lap 10 of 36. Dominic is still the race leader of this race here in Sao Paulo. He is only 1.1 up the road for Churka, who has shook off Maris, who was in P3, and he is kind of finding himself drifting almost backwards in this race. He was up in third, fighting Churka for P2 at the start, and they were tussling over the same piece of tarmac, and he's finding himself in a kind of race of his own a wee bit. He's down into P6, but Urban Unicorn, John and Toxic Fusions, like three different constructors, they're all kind of having a wee tussle over here for this final podium place in lap 10 of 36. Still another 26 laps to go if you're counting the one that we've just started with Dominic crossing the line there. This race is pretty much all but completed. So I was discussing in Maldi's absence the fact that the weather definitely levels out the level of competitiveness that you'd find in league racing. Like you all have drivers that have an edge in terms of strategy or how they kind of like racing lines, throttle inputs, outputs, braking, this and that, all the kind of different variables that go into a pure racing driver, racing breed, and the weather being the way it is.
Flag, cylinder's gone, sorry.
And that's Stray Cylinder again. He's just not been having the race that he'd been hoping for. He's just been finding himself at the back end of the field. Last of the runners, 15 seconds adrift. He's close to competitor Jam, who is approaching Danny in a battle that we could soon see for P14. But no, and we do apologise again for the connection issues. The race was pretty hectic on the first start. If you're just joining us after a connection issues and technical difficulties, the championship leader Eke has had a fundamental blow to his championship aspirations as he finds himself out of this Grand Prix here in Sao Paulo. The rain, I mean, I didn't really fully pick up on it, but we just seen his name going up. His name was retired. His teammate Gravity retired as well, and it seemed to be just where we're approaching here with the leaders, the turn 4, turn 5 sequence. Drivers were running wide. It's a really narrow bit of track here. So I'd just be assuming here on a blind eye it would just be them fighting over the same piece of tarmac and one won and one lost out, and that just seemed to probably be the case, but I'd have to look at it from another perspective, preferably on board with the drivers. At the time we lost Kyle and we lost Mick Stalio as well in the Racing Point and Force India, the Racing Point and the Haas, sorry, apologies. But we've lost the championship leader, and Dominic finds himself in P1. And he is starting to slowly bridge a wee gap between himself and Churka. It's not much, because Churka seems to be matching the pace of Dominic, because the times don't deviate too much. It still is within the low 1 second range, so it's no all won yet for Dominic. He's still got fierce competition in the pack behind him. Like, we've got Churka and Urban Unicorn, and we've got John, and we've got Toxic, and we've got Mercury picking up a 3-second time penalty, who sits in P10 at the moment. Outside of the top 5, the grid starts to become a wee bit more spaced, with at least a second between every driver down from P6 to, I'd say, P11, with Libero right on the rear end of Mercury, coming up into the second sector, and Ferrari versus Toro Rosso there for the final points position. Buckley's starting to slowly come in on this battle, but it's a big gap between Buckley and Matty for between 12th and 13th. And Jamham's not really been having the race either. I did see a few pieces of the front wing getting thrown about in the first set of corners, so maybe his gets scraped off, we never know. I didn't really get to see the exact component for which car, but Jamham, after a poor qualifying session, finds himself in P15 at the moment. His brother's up in P8. The grid is very randomised, shall we say. In the first wet race of the season, we were sitting discussing this in America. We were sitting discussing the wet weather being a factor in Brazil, and we seem to have been right, Maldy. Like, as it's here, it's kicked up a bit of a fuss, and it has definitely changed the perspective of how we saw this race in terms of championship position, championship standing. But whether it goes the way it goes, or there's other bits of random acts and factors going to play a part, we'll find out shortly. But no, the races kind of seem to have reached a bit of calm. No much in terms of the real intense battle would be between John and Toxic Fusions for P4. Toxic's finding himself right on the rear wing of the Racing Point as they're about to come up the hill, and their squabbling is allowing Urban Unicorn
Sorry, Rigsy.
Churka.
To cut you off there. Sorry. As the two Red Bulls have actually crashed out, I'm pretty sure the Constructors, if you can get it up for us, the Constructors' Championship is very, very close going to Abu Dhabi. Very close.
I'll have a quick peek at the championship standings anew. I'll get that loaded up for the viewers to check. The championship standings, Red Bull's DNF, and as it stands now with Dominic's 25, I don't think he's got the fastest lap. I think the fastest lap belongs to Urban Unicorn. No, actually belongs to Dominic, I have my apologies. Dominic with the fastest lap, so that'll be 26 points. Add that on to the 354 they've got already as 380, so it'll be 6 points between the constructors as well. So while the Drivers' Championship might be looking a bit more in favour of the McLaren driver, the Constructors' Championship is literally all to play for in Abu Dhabi if it was to finish the way it does. So It's definitely all but done in these final two races in season 15 of the STB Racing League.
I think what needs to happen, Big C, is that Dominic either needs to make a huge mistake, because at the moment the gap is 18 points between him and Eke, which, you know, that is comfortable, but maybe if Dominic can maybe lose a few positions, make the championship even closer against Abu Dhabi. But still, even if he finishes like this, Riggsy, he's still going to have a championship showdown.
I know, definitely, it definitely will sit in the back of Eke's mind now that he's not getting any points for this race. Or that's a given because he's retired. But he's going to have to start thinking about Abu Dhabi now. Truthfully, Aldi, Eke didn't really look too comfortable on the pace. Like, when he was improving, it was marginal. It wasn't enough to get him to the top 10. I mean, I don't know if Brazil's a bogey track, or he just didn't have a setup right, or maybe just genuinely other drivers seem to have found an edge over him. But he definitely didn't look too comfortable in the dry qualifying session, and with the fact that the race, I mean, I feel like most drivers would have been anticipating the rain. And it's here. It's been here for the first 17 laps, and the drivers have probably been anticipating that in qualifying. So.
Sorry, what actually happened between Eke and Gravity down into I think Regular Apost, I think the name's called. What happened? Because they just went off completely, and were they?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Were they involved in some sort of crash with someone else, or did they? I'm really confused.
It was only them two that retired, so I don't know if it was maybe collision between the pair of them, or they just got caught up in two separate incidents. I didn't catch it. I just seen a Red Bull with its front right wishbone just completely snapped and the wheel had bent completely. So I don't know whose Red Bull that was per se, but it resulted in both Red Bull drivers being out. I don't know if it was two separate incidents or it was one big incident between the pair, but definitely they will need to be assessing what happened there, and we'll need, for the stewards, there will probably be some work to be done up in that boardroom. But I mean, back to the wet weather, this to try and save Eke's blushes here, like when he qualified in like P12, P13, 14, whatever, it was around about that mild, that area. The wet weather could have been his saving grace in a sense, because the competitiveness is levelled out, it's more balanced. But he didn't get by the first lap, and it's just very unfortunate that championships took such dramatic twists in the way that it has. I mean, it's great for, it might be great for some viewers or fans of Dominic, who's kind of seen this whole kind of comeback story where he was down and out mid-season, had his connection issues throughout the season sporadically, and now he's kind of found a rhythm. His connection issues seem to have gone. Hopefully, no commentator cussing him there, but he's fun a rhythm, and it seems to be an unbeatable rhythm at the minute. He's led every lap of this race. He's got pole position. He's got fastest lap. I would assume there would be pit stops in this race. I doubt you would make the Taz last 36 laps. But this performance isn't exactly dominating, but it's Grand Slam material, and I feel that would be an additional accolade that he would be welcoming to. And he's just setting fast lap again as well. But if there's one thing I've noticed, Maldy, the rain stopped. I don't see the rain. It's just a wet track, it's a drying track, so we could possibly see dry tyres going on, which we did not. Mercury's coming into the pit lane, he's crossing the pit limit of the now Toxic's on intermediates, he's on fresh inters. People are starting to pit, i.e. the only two folk that we've mentioned are the only two that have pitted.
Set of intermediates, so fresh set for him.
So the strategy element kind of comes into play once more. I feel like that I mean, to us, well, to me personally, that line looks quite dry, but it's no slick tyre dry. It's kind of let it like dry it up, rubber it in. On the intermediates you've got, kind of go through the tyre degradation stages and just hope that your tyres don't go off the cliff. And just try and keep a reasonable pace. Dominic, in this stage, is extending his gap over Churka, and Churka is finding himself under hot pursuit of the Mercedes. So there's a wee battle forming there as we see Stray Cylinder picking up a 3-second time penalty there for exceeding track limits. But no, we're on lap 20 of 36. The rain has stopped here in Sao Paulo. Track is still wet on the outside, but the main racing line seems to be drying. So maybe people that have pitted early for a set of inters, a bit brave as we see Cody come into the pits and Buckley come into the pits today, slows the car down enough for the pit limiter. We'll see what they put on in a moment's time. And
slicks for Cody.
Cody's gone for the dry option. Buckley stays on the inters. I mean, if it was dry, you would do mediums, because it would take longer to heat the hards up, because the track is still cold. And I'm watching him coming out the pit lane the now, and he's sliding, he's hit the exit wall at turn 3, and he's going to just finish himself sitting duck to jam, who's just took him up the inside of the floor, and he's just understeered. No, he's just oversteered, my apologies. He's in the wall and he's out. He's just had a big snappy oversteer at turn 4, Maldi. The car's just bit and he's in the far wall at turn 4, and the gamble well and truly has backfired on the Haas driver there. He is out of this Grand Prix. Both Red Bulls, both Haases. No, a great day for those two teams respectively. Yellow flags will be out in the second sector to try and recover that car for that accident, but no. Cody was a prime example there. The track no being that dry yet. And there's further proof with Toxic Fusion's fastest lap. So, with that in mind, I feel the intermediates would still be the best bet for the drivers at the current stage.
The Fusion, of course, was fast.
Nah, he's took the fastest lap there. He's got some clear there. Next driver, he's the first of the pit stops, so he'll have Libiero in front, who is kind of running his own race now. He's kind of had a wee quiet race in P8. He was battling Ham Jam earlier on in this race, but he's kind of finding himself in P8. It's a solid drive for the Ferrari, kind of no man's land, but I mean, quiet races are sometimes your best races in terms of actual performance and what you actually gain out of it. But he's going to have Toxic Fusion on fresh inters as we see yellow flags in the second sector. And Buckley spun at turn 6. He's had an accident there. I don't know if that was contact or if that was just an accident he's in. And Auburn Unicorn has been speeding in the pit lane, so he's got a 5-second time penalty, and he's going on to the softs. He's been brave as well, Maldi. Soft tyres.
Urban Unicorn.
Urban Unicorn's on the soft tyres, Maldi. He's chancing it. He's thrown caution to the wind. And he's hit the wall on the exit of the pit lane.
He's crashed.
And it's ghosted, it's backfired, it's no been the strategy call. As we were sitting saying there, we've seen Cody, he was a prime example of that, and he had binned it. Urban Unicorn didn't make it out the pit lane. So it's just no dry yet. But I mean, the pit lane itself is a regular bit of road where it's not getting driven over consistently, regularly. It's not being dried up that way. It is still wet in there. So it was a challenge for Cody to get that out the pit lane and then bin it. And then Urban Unicorn couldn't even get to the pit lane before he binned it. So the pit lane exit is still really slippery for these drivers. As we see Dominic, he's going in for another lap. I thought he was going in there. It looked very tempting there. But Churka is the same. He is staying out on the inters. Hamjam finds himself up into P3 after the pit stops by Urban Unicorn, Toxic Fusion and John. And the Jasper boss is up in P4, solid shown by the Williams driver there as well. Finds himself up into P4. But no, and Stray Cylinder, He's another one. He's chancing the mediums, and it's just the same Maldi. They're squirming on the pit lane exit. They've not got enough speed. There's not enough temperature on their tyres. I feel like it is way too early. It is still too early. And he's getting overtaken by the Renault of Toxic Fusions. It's just not been. It's just not ready. And Urban Unicorn has been speeding into the pit lane again, so it's another 5-second time penalty on his back, and a front wing change. And it's just, I mean, Urban Unicorn was racing a solid race, and it is just his gambles just massively backfired on him, and he's just been slapped even harder with the penalty, and he's left the session. I don't know if that's a connection issue or he's just caught it a day with that, but and Matty he's on the source. I mean, and Dominic's in the pits. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. And Chucker's in the pits too. I hope he slows that car down. Looked very quick, but he just slows it down in time. I feel like I'll not be too surprised if they go into inters, which they did. Dominic's back onto the intermediate tyres. Chucker's going to pull up in his pit box now, and he's gone onto the intermediates as well. So both leading drivers.
Wait there a moment. Fusion's very. Wait there.
Wait.
Wait there a minute. Oh. That is unlucky for Fusion.
The lead's no so cushy now for Dominic. He's got the Renault right over the rear wing.
This is crucial for Eke's Championship, you know.
I mean,
if Fusion can get past.
This would definitely play into the hands of Eke. I was about to say that it would kind of play into the hands because they're both the same engine, but I've just remembered that Red Bull's Honda now, nor Renault. But if Toxic Fusion can get past Dominic, then he's truly just been he's just chucking the cat in amongst the pigeons with that. So if he could take points off Dominic, Eke will take that happily. As long as Dominic isn't coming home with the
Dominic's got so much pace.
He's been
so fast.
He's been consistent. He's been quick. He's been sublime in these first 24 laps. But Toxic Fusion, his own 5-lap worn tyres, has been on older tyres than Dominic. But this will need to. He needs to take advantage of this game and make a move if he wants to lead, because I feel if he doesn't, Dominic's just going to drive away because he's on fresh inters. And Hamjam's being brave as well. We just missed that, Maldi. He's on the soft tyres, and he's locked up in. He's locked up into one. He's still gone too slow. It's no quite ready yet. And Jasper's the same. He's on mediums, but he looks like he's.
What
he's
are
went
they
wide.
thinking?
He's went wide.
Gap to Dominic from Fusion is 7/10 now, so he's getting quite close in the second sector rather. I think Fusion definitely is better in that second sector over Dominic.
And I'm just sitting here on board with this the dry tyre on Maldi, and they've not got any grip. It's just no the strategy call. I mean, it's brave, but it's definitely not pulling off for them. And Urban Toxic Fusion is kind of keeping up with Dominic here. Like I mean, he is on older tyres, but if he kind of keeps the pace and kind of keeps saving ERS and save some fuel behind the McLaren, then he's definitely going to have a shout for this race one here. Especially since he was running about in P6 in the early stages of this race.
Definitely, that strategy did very well for him actually. And look at him, look how much pace he has over Dominic in the second sector right now. Look at this, look at the speed.
It definitely, I feel like it will all come down to just pure instinct and reaction and feel for these tyres. Like, Toxic Fusion's had 7 laps to get his tyres up to temperature into a perfect operation window, and he has got the pace. Dominic will just be trying to thin the grip after being on worn inters for so long. So, I mean, I'm not to try and cast, not just try to put on anybody's parades, but But Toxic Fusion's definitely shown the pace to at least keep within touching distance of this race win. On lap 26, I would do 27 to 36. But Chuck is finding himself drifting his way back in P3. Johns in P4. Mary's is going to challenge for that P4 because he's all over the rear wing. All I can see is the big BWT sponsor on the rear wing of that racing point. Mercury is 10 seconds on the road. Libero is a further 8 seconds down the road in P7. DJ Danny, who has yet to make a stop, is in P8. But Jamham's pitted, Buckley up into 9th. What does Jamham do? Does he opt for the drier tyres or does he stay on the inters?
Sorry, Ricky. It seems like to me, the drivers that had like a very decent American race, Eke, Jamham, they've all just not. They've just not done it. Like they've not got anything right. And Fusion's made a big mistake there, coming out the exit of that corner. But yeah, they've just not really had the pace.
No, they've definitely no seem to be on it. And I mean, like if we're saying for example, like, I mean, like obviously we know Eke qualified 14th and retired on lap 1. Jamham started 18th, and he's pitted to P10. It's a bit of a solid recovery drive in disguise itself. But Hamjam's took the gamble to go to softs, and it's no paying off. He's losing time. He'll probably, I don't know if he's just going to say, I'll just stick to these tyres and see if we'll take it to the end. But he's sitting here, he's squiggling, he's squirming through this second sector. I don't know how he can keep this in a straight line. Never mind getting tyres up to temperature.
Sorry, it's really heating up now.
Oh, the Renault versus McLaren battle for the lead is about to hit maximum point. Maximum point, that's probably a new one, but I couldn't really think of what to say there, but it's definitely heating up. I'll just stick to the ones that we know, but Toxic Fusions is definitely man on a mission. I want to see how much ERS he's
11 points
at this
is the
point.
gap if Fusion wins this race and Dominic's first between him and Eke.
This, I mean, 18 is a stretch for Eke if it was to finish that way. 11
no.
not so much.
11 points?
11 points. Maldo,
right?
Eke would need to win and get fastest lap, and Dominic would need to finish, I'd say about 6, something about there. It is kind of like midway between the points finish.
Like, realistically, to help us in spectator terms, Fusion needs to win this Brazilian Grand Prix, and he's going for the lead.
He's got the slipstream. So
he's going for the lead.
Here for a change. Like the slipstream in there, doing into turn 4. He was having a look around the outside, but thought better it. But sorry, just to completely shout over you there. But it did definitely heat up, and plus I was getting my aim back.
This is going to help Churka as well if these two battle.
Aye, definitely, because Churka is. I mean, I don't know, like, Churka's just drifting backwards. It's the same as what Mari was in the first stint, because he was fighting Churka for P2. Funny selling P6 after like 9 laps.
Yeah, what happened to Mari's? Because I swear he was battling for podium.
I think he was just drifting backwards, Maldi. Like, it was just, he looked really punchy on the step, and he was really tussling with Churka for P2. As we see him jump into pits, getting a penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and he's just retiring. I mean, I think it just wasn't really gone for him. I mean, if it doesn't go for you, if you've been dealt a bad hand and you just gotta try something that just doesn't work, then you really do get demoralised by that. And it is understandable if you just decided to say, nah, I'm just going to retire for this race. But it's just commiserations. Like, it's just no what. It's strange, because see to us, well, see to me, it looks dry for dry tyres, but the evidence, drivers retiring, crashing, just no fin and grip. It just shows you that it's not ready for that yet. And now we're at a stage in the race where I doubt that if it was ready for that, nobody's going to change. like, it's just going to stay the way it is. I mean, like, for example, in hypothetics, if Toxic, the only way I could see folk pitting is if maybe like Toxic pitted, or if like in the midfield pitted, or maybe even if that's like Matty or Stray Thunder pitted and was setting fastest laps. But it just doesn't seem to be going that way. It just doesn't seem to be driving.
Rixie, sorry. Fusion's getting close now. Always boxes down in turn 1. That's not going to help him.
But he's going to have the run on turn 3. He's going to turn the ERS up to overtake. And he is in the slipstream.
He's going to do it for the Retro Apostate. Is he going to do it? No, can't do it.
Toxic
that
Fusion
was DRS, that would have been the overtake.
That would have been it. But he's got to run on turn 5. He's got to go and look on the outside of 6. He's got to look. Oh, Dominic just got his braking right there. Toxic had to back out it there. But Fusion's definitely looking like the driver with confidence.
He's always done it in the rain. He's always had it in the rain with him.
Confidence.
Ever since his first title, he's had it.
Seeping through to the, like, what is it? What's the expression? Abundance. That's what it is. He's definitely looking confident at this stage in the race, and he's like, Dominic still has ERS to save, to use his defence, but this is just allowing Toxic Fusions just to sit in the slipstream, to sit in the spray that's there, and save for a final push at the end. Because Toxic Fusions is 76% of ERS compared to Dominic's 35, and Dominic needs to consistently use that as his defence. But Toxic Fusions is going to turn it up and have another crack at the whip here. But he just immediately turns it back down. But it just almost looks like, Mal, that he's just pushing Dominic round these corners, because he looks so quick. Has he got the fastest lap? He's got the fastest lap by, I'm going to do some quick math, by a tenth, by, well, a couple of hundreds, but still. But he is definitely probably the quickest driver on track. But this battle between the two leaders is, like we were saying a few laps prior, is kind of starting to bring Churka into this a wee bit, because he's brought the gap down from 4.5 to 3.1, and Danny's went and set the fastest lap with a 1:18.1. So we'll need to see how this goes, as we're about to start lap 33 of 36. The championship contender and talks in a championship contender and a previous champion in the STB racing league.
He's all down to Fusion. If the championship is still mathematically good, can be like realistically won by both drivers, it's down to Fusion. If Fusion wins this race, Rixie, then we've got a very good championship on our hands in Abu Dhabi. Let's just put that out there right now. He's got the slipstream. Here we go.
He just immediately turns the ERS back to none at the end of the straight into 4. So I don't know. I mean, I think he is just looking to save the now. He still has 80%, 84%. He's saving for a final push. Like, because I mean, if you know the win's there, you have to think strategically and calculate your move. So I feel like that's exactly what Toxic's doing now. Like he's just thinking it through. He's literally through ERS as we speak. He's just timing this for a final lap push, so Dominic doesn't have any time to react to it. And Dominic has to keep using his ERS and his high fuel mixtures for defence. And this is where.
Oh, isn't this a good race, Rixie?
It's definitely been. It's been one of the best that I've been sitting commentating on. It's definitely been. It's had its twists, its turns, its craziness. It's had the weather. It's just had different. I don't know. It's just been a mixed up grid. Strategies
Connection's been mad in the commentary box tonight.
The connections even lost the plot this race, Maldy, and we're glad to have pulled it back up eventually. I mean, we did miss the start, unfortunately, but we are here for the rest of the stint, hopefully. That is me slapping my couch for good luck, but Toxic Fusion's definitely looking punchy in these final laps. As we see Matty
But time is running out, Rixie.
Matty's trying the soft tyres again. He's trying slick tyres, so it's too late to have any form of influence in the race. I think it is purely just a matter of maybe fast slap just for the sense of pride. I think that's when it's really just come down to for the Williams driver. But even coming at the pit lane, it didn't exactly look entirely hopeful, shall I say, not to just throw any shade, but it just didn't look that convincing, shall we say. But Dominic in Fusions, Dominic has 2 laps to hold out for the race win here in Sao Paulo. Jamham's picking up a 3-second time penalty there for multiple warnings.
If I was Fusion right now, Rixie, I'd just bomb it. Hot lap, bomb it. If I was him right now, literally.
I mean, he'll definitely be looking to time it. And Dominic...
Oh no, it's lagging. It's lagging! It's kicking off, it's lagging on my screen again. Up the inside goes Toxic Fusion for the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Side by side. And Dominic's got a penalty! Oh, this is crucial! This is absolutely crucial for the World Championship!
Running the outside, and they're still side by side! Through turn 7!
Come on, Fusion! Do it for Eke! Come on! He's done it! Fusion's done it! Dominic's still there though!
And Dominic will have the inside for turn 9. He'll have the inside.
Then Fusion's going to have the Toxic Fusion. Corner around the outside goes Fusion. This is helping Churka at the moment.
And Dominic loses out on the position, but is he locked inside of Jun Shao? No.
What is the gap? What is the gap?
He's going to have the slipstream up into the first turn, and we're about to start lap 36 of 36. Dominic is looking for a way back past into the lead, and he's going to be on the outside of turn 1. Toxic's on the inside. Dominic running the outside, side by side through 1. Dominic up the inside of 2.
5 seconds. What's going on here?
A brilliant move, but Toxic Fusions is setting the car up for a final bonanza down the straight into 4. Dominic's immediately got on the defensive.
Retroposter then. It's the final lap, Riggsy. It's the final lap of the Grand Prix. This is all or nothing now for the World Championship.
And Dominic just gets the car slowed down in time on the inside of 4, but Dominic bears a penalty for exceeding track limits multiple times. This will be crucial. And another factor, Maldy, is Toxic Fusions is on 2 warnings, so he just needs to keep this final 2 sectors clean, and he'll be the race winner. The Brazilian Grand Prix here in Sao Paulo. But Dominic, as far as it stands, will only drop as far down as second unless Churka absolutely blitzes these 2 sectors.
What's the gap then? 11 points then, I believe.
And the gap will come down from 18 to 11, but the checkered flag is out. It is being waved. Dominic will be effectively crossing the line first, but it's Toxic Fusions in the Renault who takes the race victory here in Brazil. A simply sublime drive, perfect strategy call, going right into the front. Dominic pitted and Toxic, and all you could see was the Renault in the rear mirrors for the whole of his second stint. Was pushed to the edge, picked up a penalty which ended up being crucial to his final race result, and it's cost him the win after leading the majority of this race. I think that lap there was maybe the only lap Dominic didn't lead, and it was the most important one he had to lead and no have a penalty on. Just picture my mind exploding. That is it. That is literally an emotion right now. But as the checkered flag drops here in Sao Paulo, Toxic Fusion crosses the line in second but inherits the race victory. A brilliant win for the Renault team. Dominic led almost every lap of this race. Looked pretty much in control, but a superb pit strategy, pit call by the Renault team, caught the McLaren team off their guard and was immediately put onto the defensive, and Churka rounds out P3, rounds out the podium position in a solid third place as we're about to see the final race result, or about to see the podium. It's the podium. And we see Toxic Fusion basking in all the glory. He's race one. Just an absolute brilliant drive. Like, just staggering. And we see them celebrating the Union Jack in the middle, surrounded with 2 Hungarian flags. It's been a very thrilling race. It's had its ups and downs. It's just been hectic to keep up with. It's been difficult to keep up with at best in a nice way. But the final race standings are as follows. Toxic Fusion is your race winner here in Brazil. He is the victor here in Sao Paulo. Dominic in the McLaren is P2, and he extends his championship lead. He is now the championship leader. He extends that to 11 points after Eke's retirement on lap 1. Chuka rounds out the podium, paying positions in P3, a solid drive by the Toro Rosso driver there in P3. John in the racing point up in P4. Mary's had a really punchy start, but kind of went backwards. But I mean, still a solid P5 on home turf. Mercury up into P6, a solid showing after starting in P10. Buckley 17th to P7, pretty strong drive. Libiero, the Ferrari, another solid drive there by the German. DJ Danny and Jamham round out the points. Jasper Boss, Urban Unicorn, Stray Cylinder, Matty were the remaining drivers that had finished the race here in Brazil. But are we being joined by any, Maldy? Are we gonna?
I believe we're being joined by the podium finishers, but I'm not sure. What's going on here?
We'll try and get some drivers in after that exhilarating race. I think that is. I mean, like, despite the connection issues, that race was just. It was just intense.
Okay. Well, I believe we're only going to have Fusion in here for an interview, your race winner, because Dominic is feeling unwell.
Oh.
Wait, hello?
And Chirk unfortunately
Hello?
can't speak English very well. So we're just going to interview you, Fusion. So Fusion, we were saying in the commentary box about we don't know what the hell happened to Eke. That championship's been thrown everywhere. But Fusion, we said that for the championship to still be alive, kind of. You needed to win the race. You did that. You beat Dominic. Take us through what was going through your head with the strategy, because it was a very good call
I mean, I could see I was getting nowhere behind John, because as soon as I got near him, I'd just get in his dirty air and lose an absolute ton of time. And then I could see that the track wasn't really good drying up, even though Jeff was saying that we was on the crossover at one point. I think it was like lap 14, he was saying we was right on the crossover, but it just wasn't happening. So I just took a pretty big risk and a gamble to go back onto the Inters, and it worked. I'm actually quite happy. It was actually a really fun race. That fight with Dominic at the end was crazy.
Yes, it was very crucial. You got a penalty as well. But Fusion, how does it feel then to potentially affect the championship in some way for next week in Abu Dhabi?
I know getting past Dominic, or Dominic getting a penalty, has kind of made it a bit more interesting. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens in Abu Dhabi, won't we?
Yes, we will. Thank you, Fusion, and thank you, Rigsy, once again for the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's been very, very special race. We had a few connection issues on stream, a few connection issues in the lobby on my end, but then we got things back up and running. And what an incredible end of race battle that was between Fusion and Dominic. Fusion may well have saved Eke's chances of a title. But we will see you next week on Yas Island for the final race of the season. We go to the Middle East for the final race, your championship decider. Will it be Eke or will it be Dominic for the World Championship? The gap, 11 points. And will it be McLaren or Red Bull for the constructors? It's all going to kick off, and we'll find out next week. The Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We'll see you next week.